Wee, McDonald's. Where you going? You missed it. Who remembers these? Rattling even more than it did before. What is that noise? Why is it doing that? Whoa. Spilt loads in the boot because I'm an idiot. 2 cylinders are down.
Put some plugs in, just see how it goes.
Just send it, yeah. Covered in oil. I don't believe it. Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Marcus Hayes and today I'm going over to my other garage to do some pre-flight checks on Ester, my ST170 powered Mk1 Escort, and hopefully in this video I'm going to be firing up her new ST170 engine for the first time. Before I do that though, I need to rescue Maud, my Model Mk2 Escort, from my work car park. Her new clutch cable has arrived, so I'm going to need to go over to my garage to get the jack and some tools, and then head to my work car park and switch the clutch cables over, and then she'll be back on the road. Wee, McDonald's. Where you going? You missed it. You missed it. Alright, well, here she is. I'm going to push her under the bike shed over there because it looks like it might rain. Clutch pedal is on the floor. And yeah, you can see that the bit of the cable that's supposed to be on this end is gone. And I need to get this old cable off and fit this new one. Now, I got this cable from my friends at Burton Power, and I've gone for the normal length cable this time. I don't need a longer cable on this car because it's just running a twin choke. Now, this bit of the clutch cable basically attaches to the pedal with a pin that goes through there, and then the pin clips into a clip. And there's the clip on the pedal there. It's going to be easier to just take the clip off the pedal. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so there's the clip. And basically that pin goes in there, and then yeah, that basically clips into there. But I'm going to get the old cable off first and then poke this one through the bulkhead. Yeah, so the old cable should just pull out now. Like that. So I'll poke the cable through the bulkhead and get it hooked up to the pedal, and then I'll worry about getting this end hooked up to the clutch fork. There you go, it's all attached to the pedal. Clutch cable needs to pass through there. And then on the clutch fork that's inside here, there's a hole for that nipple on the end of the cable to hook onto. So I need to hook that on, and then I can use these nuts here to adjust the clutch cable. This bit's always fiddly, you've got to do it by feel. Can you hold the clutch pedal up? Yeah, just hold it up. Oh my god, that went on so easy. One sec. I've never had a clutch cable go on that easy before in my life. That should be under tension now. So I just need to wind this nut in. I think that'll do. I can always adjust it a bit once I've tested it. Just lock them nuts together. So I've got a cable tie round the engine mount, which should just about hold the cable away from the steering column. We have a clutch. While I was doing that job, my beautiful girlfriend Kat went and got me a McDonald's chicken wrap for the win. So with Maud now alive and my McDonald's consumed, my beautiful girlfriend's gonna leave me to fend for myself, and I'm gonna make my way to the garage to spend some time on Ester. Now before we head off to the garage, I've got something to show you. Who remembers these? Old school air fresheners called Faux Orange. Now this was actually sent to me by a guy called Mark Rowe. Massive thanks to you, mate. These aren't actually available nowadays. There are sort of replicas that you can buy on eBay and stuff, but this is a proper genuine one from back in the day. So, hang this up on Maud's rearview mirror. Mark was saying don't bother piercing the holes on the back because apparently they smell quite a lot anyway. I'll have to use this thing. Yeah, it does actually smell really strong. Quality. Mark does actually have a few more of these for sale. So if you want to purchase one of these, I'll leave Mark's email address in the description of this video. Just drop him an email and make sure you mention my name in the email and you'll save £5. But once they're gone, so be quick. But yeah, really glad that I've got one for Maud. The clutch pedal's rattling even more than it did before. Oh well, hopefully the clutch will work properly at least. Yeah, the pedal seems to be wobbling side to side. Now I don't know if it's because I've sort of forced the cable to be bent, you know, that way in the engine bay because of the cable tie that I've tied around the engine mount to keep it away from the steering column. Alright, so I've made it to Ester's garage. Those of you that watched the last video will know that I've already got Ester's engine at TDC and the timing tools are already on the engine. So the first thing I'm going to do today is change the cam belt. Also, I'm going to be fitting a new camshaft bolt and a new crankshaft bolt. I'm going to replace this idler pulley for the one that came off of Ester's old engine because I know that that was virtually brand new. And this tensioner pulley will be replaced for the eccentric billet one that Joshua from the USA gave me. Yesterday I picked up this brand new Gates cam belt from Lloyd's Motor Spares in South Harrow. I also picked up some 5W30 fully synthetic oil and an oil filter. I think this is just their own brand that they do, but I'm probably not going to keep this oil in this engine for long. And yeah, next time I throw oil in this engine, I'll be using Shell Helix or Mobil 3000, I think it's called, and I'll be using a genuine Ford oil filter from Burton Power. So yeah, I think I'll crack on with changing the cam belt first of all. Now here and here on the cams, there are some flats so you can put, you know, a spanner or mole grips to stop the cam turning when you undo those bolts. But I still don't like to do it with the timing tool in. I'm going to remove this bar and remove the bolt from the block down here which locks the crank. I'm hoping that the crank bolt will undo quite easily. Bar in there. Yeah. Right, so next up I'm going to loosen the VVT cam, the inlet cam. Right, so as you can see, with the mole grips locked onto the cam, when I go to undo, this is just a cap, but there's another nut underneath. So when I go to undo that, it's not going to let the cam turn and it'll undo the bolt. Yeah, this one isn't too tight, but the one inside is super tight on this VVT cam. So now I'll put the timing tools back in. Crank looks like it's moved. Right, because these are already cracked off, it's safe to continue undoing them with the timing tools in. That's the old one. Don't know if you're supposed to or not, but I put some Loctite on this new camshaft bolt. And loads of you are telling me before that I use way too much of this when I put the flywheel bolts in, so I'll use a bit less. Is that enough? Let me know. Leave that loose for now. Crack this one off, make sure that's nice and loose, which it is. So now we can take the tension off the cam belt. Take the belt off. Not really sure how I'm supposed to tension this. Maybe that little groove there is, you know, how you're supposed to do it, put a screwdriver in there or whatever. The original tensioner, you basically tension it until that thing there is in that square, like that, and then do the bolt up. I don't know if you're supposed to just do it until there's 180 degrees twist on the belt, I don't know. Anyway, moving on, I'm going to replace this other pulley for the one that was on Ester's old engine. On with the brand new cam belt. Yeah, is that tensioned enough? I don't know. Can't really get much more tension on it using this method, if that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I'll just nip these pulleys up. Only nipping them, so it doesn't matter about the timing tools being in there. And then take the timing tools out. And then we'll turn the engine over a couple of times by hand and see if it's still in line. I think I'm going to take the plugs out. These are actually brand new plugs, but I haven't torqued them down yet. Just done them up hand tight. Yeah, so with the plugs removed, we're not fighting against the compression. Should just turn freely. What is that noise? Whatever that noise was, it stopped. Didn't feel any resistance or anything. Maybe just where the engine's been sat for so long. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's definitely stopped now. Bar is in the cams. Thread this gizmo back in the block. I'm going to take the bar out of the cams. And now it shouldn't move at all with the crank pulley bar, which it doesn't. So it's definitely still in time. I'm not 100% sure on the tension on this cam belt, but yeah, so the engine's still in time, so it looks like it's all good. This cam belt definitely seems like it's got 45 degrees if I twist it that way, and 45 degrees if I twist it that way, and I think 180 degrees of twist in total is about right. This is nice and tight, so yeah, I assume it's okay. Take the timing tool back out of the block. So this VVT pulley bolt is apparently 120 Newton meters. And the exhaust cam pulley is apparently 68 Newton meters. Pour some oil on the cams, why not, before I put the valve cover back on. Let's put the new oil filter on. Shouldn't be too much oil that drips out of there. Bit of oil to help it seal, and screw it on. She has oil. Does she have oil pressure? Now I do have a mechanic's oil pressure gauge that I can screw into the block, but I've already got the gauge on the dash screwed in there, and I know that that works, so we're going to trust that today. Why is it doing that? Oh, that's leaning against the bracket there. That's why. Need to rethink that. Just hope I didn't fry my new battery. Whoa, whoa. Alternator wires are leaning against the body. Alright, so I've wrapped the alternator wires in this glove. Hopefully that'll be enough to insulate them from the body. And hopefully I haven't fried my new battery or the wiring loom on the car. Alright, so I've got my oil pressure gauge just cable tied to the kick panel here. So I'm just going to Turn the engine over on the starter motor, hope for no grinding noises, and hope for that gauge to move. Probably take a while for the pipe to fill up with oil because it's been completely dry. There she goes. Well, she's got oil pressure, so that's a good start, and it appears that my battery and my wiring loom is still working. Now the next thing I want to do is a compression test, which I can't do on my own.
Hello, fella.
How you doing, mate?
How are you?
Yeah, not bad. What are you up to?
Just up the yard at the minute.
I need to do a compression test on Ester's new engine, so I thought I'd see if you're about, but it don't matter.
Can you give me 15 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
Up anyway.
Oh, yeah, sweet. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, that's all right.
Cool, man. Sweet. A couple of things I did forget to do a little while ago is put this cap back on here. Also, forgot to screw this thing back into the block, and that's basically what you remove to put the timing tool in the block. And I forgot to do the guide pulley and the tensioner pulley up to 38 Newton meters. That feels too tight at 38. 38 seems too tight for that. I don't believe the internet. It's now over 35 anyway, so while I'm waiting for Rob, I'll just hook up the inlet air temperature sensor. Might as well hook up the throttle position sensor as well. I'm feeling positive. Let's get some fuel in her. Oh, this is awkward in the garage. I spilt loads in the boot because I'm an idiot. Well, there was less in that jerry can than I thought, but definitely enough in there to fire her up if we get to that stage today. So with the fuel pump flicked on, let's turn the ignition on and see what kind of fuel pressure we're getting. The gauge is on 0. Have I got a dodgy fuel pump or a dodgy fuel pressure gauge? Maybe, because it's completely dry, I need to leave it on for a good while. Turn it on without this on and it does gush out. So the pump's doing something. That new gauge I thought must be no good. Not sure what's going on with this gauge, but right now Rob's going to help me do a compression test.
We're hoping for 170.
Apparently these do go low. I just want them all to have some compression.
So is that an ST170?
Yeah.
Top and bottom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
4.5, yeah?
Go on. That is only 70 psi. 125. 125.
Last one.
That one's 70 as well. 2 cylinders are down.
1 and 4.
Do
Do you know what I do? Put some plugs in, just see how it goes.
just send it, yeah.
It's got oil pressure, I checked that earlier. They all sound the same. Yeah, when I'm 100.
Well, it definitely sounded really good. So yeah, I think I'm gonna recheck the compression. So Matt probably needs tweaking slightly anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't think I'm gonna get away with not having it tweaked a little bit, you know what I mean? Even if it's just the idle and that.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like it's hunting.
On idle.
What's it now?
120.
Told you.
Just a little bit of lubrication.
Yeah.
I told you, yo.
Do you reckon I would have damaged it though?
No, not at all.
Alright, let's do the other 3.
120?
Yeah. That one's more this time. 128 or something. 120.
There you go.
Sweet!
They're going to come up a little bit more
Yeah,
once the
yeah.
oil gets...
Yeah.
That's what I bet that hunting was. Them loosening up a bit.
You reckon? Alright, so we can safely say that this fuel pressure gauge is no good. Right, I think what I'm going to do now is ring Kat and tell her the good news, and then I'm going to throw everything back together off camera and I'll catch up with you afterwards. Well, a few hours later and Esther is all back together. I was just running the engine and everything seemed fine, and then all of a sudden heard a big sort of gushing noise and noticed some sort of liquid getting sprayed over the engine bay over here, and it looks like it's oil. So I don't know what's gone on. The throttle bodies are covered in oil. All this bit of the engine bay is covered in oil. There's a big puddle of it on the chassis leg down there. Everything on this side is covered in oil. So I don't know what's let go, but it don't look good. Can't believe it, man. Everything was running so sweet. I think I'm gonna have to come back round here tomorrow, which I wasn't gonna do, to investigate, so I'll see you in a sec. All right, so I stayed in it for a bit longer. Got the throttle bodies off to have a look, see if I can see what's happened. Got some oil sitting on those core plugs there, but I'm pretty sure they go into the water jacket. I mean, the only thing it can be really is a head gasket. You know, if I put a mirror there, I can definitely see a trace of oil between the block and the head gasket. Just weird, it didn't overheat or anything. You know, it didn't even get up hot enough for the fan to kick in. It wasn't running for that long. Anyway, I'm going to have to come back round here tomorrow and have a proper tidy up. There's oil all over the garage floor and yeah, it's a mess. So maybe we'll be able to see a bit better in daylight, but so close, man, so close. Hello, right, into the next day, and me and my beautiful girlfriend Kat are heading back down to the garage. I've got a lot of tidying up to do, a lot of oil to clear up off of the floor, and Kat is coming with me for moral support because of all the grief I'm having, and also because I'm supposed to be going to a barbecue later, so if I go to the garage on my own, I can't be trusted to actually make it back in time for the barbecue. Right, so we've made it to the garage. First thing I want to do is a compression test, so I'm going to whip the plugs out. Plugs are sooty, very black, if that means anything. 110, 115, same again. I tuck these strings in on my hoodie. When I get to the back cylinder, they're like hanging near the cam belt. Well, that is very interesting because they've all got compression. Yeah, part of me was hoping that the compression test was going to show, you know, a clearly blown head gasket. Because now I don't know. Let's see if there's enough oil in the engine to actually get oil pressure. So yeah, there's definitely enough oil in there to get pressure.
Right, stop.
I don't believe it. I've just sussed it. I'm quite happy with what it is, but it's something so stupid. Give me some more oil pressure. Go on.
Stop.
Now, yesterday I definitely checked if this oil filter was tight, but what you can see there is some sort of what looks like a rubber seal. So maybe it's got like the old rubber seal on it from the old oil filter, and then I've screwed the oil filter on as well. I'm not yet blaming this Napa filter. Ultimately, I am so happy that it's just the oil filter. Yes. If you thought this video was any good, please do give it a thumbs up and a share. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Click subscribe to keep up to date with all my future uploads, and check the links in the description to my social media and my website. I'll also leave my email address down there for anyone who wants to contact me. And anyone who wants to grab one of those faux orange air fresheners, I'll leave Mark's email in the description of this video as well. And don't forget to mention my name in the email to save £5. But other than that, until next time, from me and Kat, thanks for watching.